Yeah, hello and welcome to the Benin Empire Advancement League, the home of all the Benis. Um, Today, I'm just going to be spending some minutes in this big studio, Austria. Uh, but before I continue, let me send my greetings out to all the Benis worldwide and shampoo to you all because in the past few days there's been a lot going on in our empire and the election, the a lot of whole things that is going on in our empire. We need to talk about it because everything has to do with the Benin Empire. And my greetings to the members, to the executive leaders of the Benin Empire Advancement League and the honorable members, to friends and well wishers of the Benin Empire Advancement League. We appreciate that you people are with us. We are very, very grateful for that. So today, my main topic is about the IPOB and the ESN, uh, their agenda and their propaganda, put it that way, and the similarity between them and the uh, Nazi Germans. As you can see in the POP propaganda from the beginning, they make a certain ethnic group as as an enemy of Nigeria. They make, for example, the Fulanis and the Hausas as the enemy of Nigeria, that they are not ready to allow Nigeria to progress, that they are power hungry, and that they have been ruling Nigeria for so many years now, and that because of that, Nigeria is backward. Everybody buy to these ideas. We see a lot of us uh, started buying to these ideas because we have to hold somebody responsible. We have to hold a group of people responsible for what is going on in Nigeria today. And at the same time, they have other propaganda, which is saying the Fulanis are devilish people. They are killing our people in the south, south, in the western part, and others. But they forgot themselves whom they are and what they were doing and what they have been doing. Because if you combine this chronology to that of the Nazi, then you will see there is no difference. Because at the beginning of the Nazi propaganda, uh, they came up with this sort of ideology to say, or the idea is that the Jewish people uh, are responsible for the miserable situation the Germans were. This campaign took them few years before the Germans buy into this uh, propaganda. But for the Germans, it was unaware for them that the Nazis were having other agendas that they want to run. They make the Jewish people a scapegoat. Their companies were seized, their wealth was seized, everything was seized from them before even the beginning of the war. People buy, people worldwide buy to these ideas that the Jewish people was responsible for the miserable situation the world was in that age. You know. Then the German moved on, started a war. They invaded Poland. They find an excuse after they make the people to believe that the Jewish were their problem. They find an excuse to invade Poland. They find a way to invade Poland by sending their AMOC vehicles decorated as the AMOC vehicle of the Polish people to attack Germany. The Germans did it themselves. They decorated the armored vehicle, sent it to Poland, and from there they fire into Germany, and that's what was how the Second World War started. Within days, they took over Poland, they took over almost all the whole European countries. And most of these European countries was in agreement with the Nazi government at that period. Government like Russia, like France, like all these other small countries. The only country that doesn't have any contract with the Nazi Germany at that period was the British people, who know the agenda of the German, why they were doing what they were doing. Many people didn't even know about this. There was an agreement, non-attack agreement between Germany and the Russians, between France and the Nazi Germany, that period. But the German Nazi, they were having other agenda. Russia didn't wake up before the half of Russia was invaded. They now wake up after seeing what the Germans are doing to them, how they entered their country, took part of half of their country, before they now wake up and started fighting back. They would have not succeeded if not the British and the American, the Australia, the Canadas, because these are the people who really fought in that war to defend the British people, to defend the whole of Europe, defending France, defending almost half of Europe that period. Even Italy was with the Nazi that period, Mussolini. They were like brothers and sisters that period. They even went as far as to Africa, in the northern part of Africa, to fight the Nazi war, somewhere like Egypt, Tunisia, and all these areas. They experienced the Second World War. But we in the West Africa, we were very lucky not to experience this war. And when you look at the agenda and the chronology from the whole setting and the whole agenda of the IPOB and the ESN, you come to this conclusion to say, oh, what are these people doing? Is this a copycat of what has been going on, or what went wrong that period? If you look at this at early stage and at the propaganda of Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOBs and their members, you will recollect that there was some elements that were always demonizing the Fulani people, the Hausa people, telling us, look at, they are raping your women, they are killing your people, they are doing this, they are doing that. For us to hate these people. And many of us buy into this idea without even considering what is going to happen next. Most people now, they started with Buhari is dead, Buhari is somebody who is representing Buhari, is a Sudanese, and this and that. When they know people are no longer buying to that, they now come up with Fulani herdsmen. Fulani herdsmen, Jubri, and others. They come up with these ideas, and people buy into it. That the person in Aso Rock was Jubri from Sudan, and people were jubilating, supporting, throwing heavy weight into what they don't really understand and what they don't know. It's only few people who didn't buy into these ideas. And I say thank you for not buying into these ideas. Yes, we know there are some headsmen in this country, but we doesn't know if these people are really Fulanis or if they are Igbos or members of the ESN that was born in the northern part of Nigeria. Nobody know that. But we only know to speak Fulanis because all we know there's a huge amount of Igbo citizens living in the north who know how to speak the Hausa language, who know how to speak the Fulani's language. That's also taking part in cattle rearing. We should understand this. We shouldn't run into conclusion. And people were shouting here and there, we see Fulani kill this, kill that, kill that. But we were not understanding what was really going on. Many of us were just taken by the anxiety, yeah, the name Fulanis, this and that. And this also threw Nigeria back because many people may be thinking Buhari is not doing anything. He has been there for nothing. I always compare Buhari to Governor Obaseki of Edo State. Many people may not agree. These are not people who are really proud of what they have been doing or what they have done during their government era. Let me put it that way. Because Buhari is a very quiet person. He doesn't even come out to defend himself. We should understand it. It's likewise the same system Godino Basek is using. He has been working quietly, doing a lot of things. Even for myself, there's a lot of critics from my own personal side on this on the Edo State administration. But that doesn't mean they are not doing what they are doing. They concentrated on the area where they are working, the area where they are not working. Likewise, the Buhari administration. When we see these people today who is running up and down, trying to contest as a presidential candidate, when you just look at all of them, look at all of them. These are the people who were one way or the other involved in the government of Buhari. If not direct, but indirect, profited from all these things. When people go out today, shout Tinubu. When the people go out, shout Wiki and others, we should understand, or Simbajo or Atiku, we should understand what these people stand for. Because there are so many types of devil. But you can choose out of these devils. Devil you know you can talk to that will not raise his gun and kill you immediately. We all know Buhari didn't live to expectation, but he did a lot of things quietly before the propaganda started against him. He was so quiet, but there was also a mistake from his own team. Who did they come out to defend him? Somebody like the Minister of Information, Laya Mohammed. It is complete failure. He should have come out, defend this government with his full energy. Allow the Nigerian people to know what this government was doing. But that wasn't the case. All we know about Buhari is a Fulani headman who give all the positions out to his people, give all the minister posts to his people, the security posts to these people, and all that. But all these are not true. I am not here to defend Buhari, but the way we do things sometimes can lead to a total catastrophe because we as a country and we as a citizen, we also have responsibility. It's not just only the government officials or people who are responsible for the government that have responsibility. You as a citizen, you have a responsibility. You have the responsibility to correct things when things are going wrong, to shout out and say this is not right. But we are not doing that. When you look at the situation we are having today, during the primaries, see the pictures that we were getting, we were viewing. You know, this is disgrace to us, to all of us. I'm not saying everybody is guilty, but we have this duty to tell Nigerian people this is wrong. We shouldn't close our eyes and start looking at these people. Starting again to destroy the image of Nigeria, because election is not election by. When you see the people that is representing us from the South, the way they, I don't know how to put them because not to insult them too much. The way they behave or the way they misbehave, that very, very period. I now pity for my people. Say, okay, look, is this the people we are going to be voting to our government? But we have not even started. The people are already corrupt. Why do we need these people? Do we need these people at all? Because with this set of people, Nigeria cannot move forward. We should understand that. With this set of people like Atiku and others, Nigeria cannot really move forward. What is really holding Nigeria not to move forward? Some of them are just there. Some of them like electricity, which is not in the Fulani hand. If we want to make cooperation, then infrastructure. There are so many things we have to talk about. The railroad systems we were having when Amechi come up, bring these things forward. It was the Southerners who destroyed the whole bill in the Senate. They destroyed it before it even started. And when Amechi said they were constructing from Nigeria to Niger, the rail system, the whole Southern government senators voted for that bill, while they rejected our own. Then you will now see how these people are enemies of progress to the South. When Wiki went to Abuja for the primary, we would have expected our Southern people to at least throw a half weight behind him. But that wasn't the case. All they did was throw their weight behind Atiku, who believe we are his servant. The Nigerian people, we have to start learning. It's not the way people has money. It's not the way we should be voting them. It's not because you are a millionaire, you have a company, doesn't mean you can rule Nigeria. Controlling a company and controlling a country is a very, very different thing. We should understand that. Because companies is a private company. And in Nigeria, as a country, it's not a private business. It's a public business. This is what people should understand. When they come with all sorts of names today, like Peter Obi, Atiku, and others who are already billionaires, they said they should come and feast Nigeria. Nigeria is not a company you come out and fish one day. Nigeria lack so many things. Nigeria need to restructure himself. Need to restructure himself. Need to rebate The democracy system we're having now, this is not really a democratic system. We have to rethink. How would a poor man get 100 million to register as the president? I believe this should be free for every citizen of Nigeria because you doesn't need to buy yourself into any power. This is buying. You buy yourself into power. But we are not saying this because you go in there. I think the form should be free for every citizen of Nigeria. Let every citizen have a chance to compete for that position. Not you who will one way or the other through corruption find this money and contest and you won and the corruption continue again. It's like the poor man has no say in that country. Not to deviate far away from the topic we have been talking about. Because this system didn't start with the Hausas or the Fulanis. The system started with the Igbos and the Yorubas and their collaborator from the Ijaw people. So we have to be very careful when we are talking about set of people because to my own belief, the Fulani are more honest than these tribes. That is the fact. Whether Muslim or Christian, it doesn't really play any role because as a human being, we have seen what is happening in the South. Who say they are majority Christian. We have seen the way everything is being ruined. Buhari might have not lived into that expectation we are expecting from him. He is not the only person that is Nigeria. We all are Nigeria. It is the way we behave ourselves that Nigeria is the way it is today. Because everybody that has the opportunity to serve in that country, I call it serve because many people will see it as to chop. This is what they call it. They will say this guy has a chance to chop. They chop well. This is what they are calling it. And this is a very, very bad idea. People go in there, take whatever they want to take and leave. Store it in Switzerland, store it in Germany, in Austria, in Britain, America, and others. These things, they are not coming back to Nigeria. Even though they are coming back to Nigeria, we haven't seen anything that is being done, any project that is being done with this money. Before even this money is being brought in, it will be shared among these people who believe Nigeria belongs to them, who believe the masses has nothing to say. I think Nigeria has now to start practicing the masses system of government, where the mass now decide exactly what to happen to some certain project like the electricity project should be put as a priority because if we want Nigeria to develop, we need 24 hours electricity without any breakdown. Because if you want to invest in any technology, artificial intelligence, or any other thing you want to invest, you need this 24 hours electricity. Without this electricity, this government is not going to develop. Nigeria is not going to develop. We have to understand that because there's no country in the world who will go to the country without electricity to go and invest. Because they have to think in another way how to provide electricity for their companies. Because Nigeria really have so many things we can do to provide electricity for ourselves. But the greediness of our people, who owns the Nigerian electrical power companies, who doesn't allow things to go forward in Nigeria, they have to be brought to book. People have to protest about this. people paying electricity bill without electricity. The system of the Nazi and the IPOB I was talking about before. This is the way everything started. The blame was always put on the Jewish people and the officials of the government. The officials of the government was now overthrown, and you see everybody in that day, everybody was happy, throwing everything up and down, you know, beating up the Jewish people as if they were not human beings and others. But when you go today and ask anybody in those who survived those eras, they will tell you they weren't there. Even immediately after that incident, they will tell you they were not there. They didn't know such a thing happened. We should think twice before we accept everything the media is telling us, because the IPOB were using media to inform everybody, to make sure anything that is good about a Fulani person that will be taken as bad something. And when they find out they are not succeeding, they started with the Benin history. They started distorting Benin history, started doing a lot of nonsense, because this was a cooperation between the Igbos and the Yorubas, who wanted to overthrow the Buhari government, but they failed woefully. We see how some of the Igbo elites were siding these people, Biafra, and all this and that. But what they didn't put into consideration, that the Benin Empire is the one feeding Nigeria, has been feeding Nigeria. The South, right from the one, has been feeding Nigeria. We are the people who should have been complaining, to say we have been left out of Nigerian wealth. The Igbos, the Yorubas, they have been enjoying this wealth for a very, very long time. And I believe it's the hard time to cut them off from this wealth. If the Igbos, the Yorubas, they're serious, they should go for a referendum. Everybody should take what he brought to Nigeria when they were joining Nigeria together. And let's see what will be left behind for this Yoruba and the Igbos when the Benin Empire is being taken out of Nigeria. Before the creation of Nigeria, Benin Empire was already existing, having embassies in so many countries, not just Portugal, as people are thinking. We were already communicating with almost all the whole world, not just only Portugal, as we are trying to centralize it, this and that. No. We were already communicating with almost all the whole world. The only thing that Benin Empire was lack of that period was weapon. If Benin Empire would have the same or equivalent weapon as the British, believe me, they would have not succeeded in doing anything to our empire. As some enemies of progress, as we are still having it in Nigeria today, were also in the Benin Empire at that period, who gave the British the access to the Benin Empire to do whatever they did. But the Benin Empire people were just like seed. The British come, they ransack us, the France and others, they join together to ransack us. They thought that was the end of everything. Because when you throw a seed away, you think that is the end. But one day, when the rain falls, they will regenerate. They will turn to a tree. This is what the Benin Empire is turned into today. The Benin people, they are waking up gradually, but slowly, very slow in thinking at this period. But I believe immediately after the election, when they saw what is going on in Nigeria, when they saw how they are being marginalized in Nigeria, I believe they will start waking up. Because why we are not doing this right now It's because some people are still profiting from this system. The IPOB have been using this system to tell us, look, these are bad people, these are bad people, but they are not saying what they themselves has been doing. They have been killing their people, eating their people as cannibalism. The nomination of Atiku was not done by the Fulanis alone. They were Igbos who voted for Atiku. These are the people they should be talking to, but not our people, nor the Fulanis, nor the Hausas. Because these are the people who are really responsible for their miserable condition they are now. If there should be a referendum today in the East, I believe they will have almost 90%. But why 90%? Because of the fake information they are being fed on every day, telling them you will have better off without Nigeria. You will have be like Dubai, like America, like this and that without Nigeria. But what their people doesn't ask, where will all these things come from? Because doing business alone will not save a nation. Because we know half of the populations of Igbo live outside Igbo land. How are you going to care for these people? This is a question you have to ask yourself, because the North, they are going to ransack everything. Even in the South, during the Nigerian Civil War, we tolerated you people, but now we are not going to tolerate that, because we now know the type of people you are. Even the West, the Yorubas, they are not going to do that, because during the, what do they call them? The time of Boho, or what they call them, we're finally agitating for Yoruba nation. We saw what was happening. They were already chasing Igbo. Upon that, they were having a corporation. Their corporation was to destroy Nigeria. As far as Nigeria exists, I will stay to Nigeria. But once I saw or see anything that is not okay, that is dangerous to my people, I'm going to stand up and fight for that. No matter how long it will take, we should put everything into consideration. But let me just put this. The people from the Benin Empire, especially the palace of the Benin people, has to do a lot. Has to do a lot. We are not saying you should go out there to fight or do any other thing, but we have to be preparing our people for every event that is going to be coming up this period. Because why I'm saying this, I have seen so many things in the past few days that is taking place that I feel the Benin should be ready for all events. When we see how the Oni of Ife is arrogating internationally, claiming what it doesn't belong to him, forming all sorts of ancestral lineage that doesn't belong to him. You know, these are people of land grabbing tour. Likewise, the IPOB, they are on a land grabbing tour. We shouldn't allow this to happen to us again. Because during the Nigerian Civil War, we slept. We were sleeping. We were thinking we were good people, nothing will happen to us. But it happened to us. They thrown us over 2 days, within 2 days. and did what they did, if not with the help of Obasanjo and others that period, Dr. Samuel Ogbemudia. I don't think we would have been talking the way we are talking today. Because the Biafras that period, they have already appointed somebody who took over the affairs of the Benin that period. So now we should wake up. We should wake up. Allow them to know we are in existence. We are existing. We will not tolerate what we tolerated during the Nigerian Civil War. If they want to fight their war, let them go to their region and fight their war. They should leave our region alone. For example, when I see the cooperation, for example, between the Ife, Oni of Ife, and some king in Ghana, I will only shake my head. Because you now ask yourself, why would somebody like Oni of Ife and some rich Yoruba people will be pumping money into Ghana? To confuse a king in Ghana that they are of the same lineage, that they originated from them, of which is very, very fake. This is not, we can prove that, these people, they are not from Ife. And also some of our brothers from Edo State are also getting money from Ife. Now they are coming up to start saying Benin is not the oldest empire in Nigeria, is Ife. How can you come up with such a nonsense? I hope you watch yourself to see the nonsense that is coming out of your mouth. Then you will understand that the life you are living is not the life you are supposed to be living. The Benin Empire have been existing. Even the Oyo people are calling empire wasn't an empire before the British came. The British named the Oyo as an empire. Oyo was a village which was not bigger than Benin City alone back then, compared to a mighty empire like the Benin. So we are going to be taking these people with their ways and start telling them this is where we stand. We are not moving. And I want to thank some of our youth of today. Really. Some of you make me very, very proud and make me very, very happy. The way you people stand for the Benin and what you people have been doing for the Benin. I think the Benin should be proud of you people. And you people should also be proud of yourselves. But those of us that have not been able to be doing, I will encourage them, because your identity is just the beginning of life. Because when you have your identity, everything becomes clear for you. When you know your history, where you know where you are coming from, then you know where you are going to. But most of us of today, the generation of today, they are lack of this knowledge. So it should be one of our homework to educate our people, to make sure our people doesn't buy into this ideology of the Nazi and the IPOB, the ESN, and others. We, the Benin, we should look back and at the same time look forward. The people who rescued us from the hands of the Biafra that period, they were not Yorubas, apart from Obasanjo. They were Fulanis and Hausas who came to free the Benin from the hands of the Biafra that period. Many of our brothers in Asaba, in Agbo, They were captured by the Biafra that period. People who doesn't have 1 day or 1 minute of military experience were given gun to go to the front. And all of them were massacred. And these people today, they are still buying into this idea, relating themselves into the ideology of IPOB that has something to do with the idea of the Nazi. When we look at the Asaba massacre, look at what happened in Agbo and all those areas. Our people living in that area, they should learn fast and quickly not to tolerate the IPOB and the ESN in that area, because the outcome is going to be very, very bloody. I can promise you that, because these people, it doesn't mean something good for you. We see what they did in Benin. We saw what they did in Benin City, what they did in Calabar, what they did in different parts of the Benin Empire that period. But it's like human being brain always forget what really happened. Only the people who experience this can be able to explain this to you, what happened that period of 3 months that the fight was really going on in this south area. People should understand how many of our people who lost their life that period, how many of our women that were being raped, how many of our houses were being burned down, how many of our properties were being robbed and taken to the Biafran custodies and others. We should start understanding. Why will such a person with that same ideology come again? For example, our Asian brothers and sisters who are now buying into that ideology. How would somebody like that come and promise you heaven and earth and you just believe him without even using your brain? If you think you are doing something good to yourself, I promise you that good will turn to a very, very hell fire. Because they are not just there they will not come only to occupy you, but they will come to colonize you. Take your language, take everything that remembers your identity. They are going to do that, and they are going to succeed if you continue to buy into that ideology. We can see the way our language is being torn somehow upside down today. Some are Yorubas. They now say they are speaking Yorubas, and then some are speaking Igbo. Just because of the language, they get to be Igbos. But these are not Igbos. These are sons and daughters of Benin, like Ondo. The Ondo people was never Yoruba or majority Yoruba. Before the British came, Ondo State was Edo, Benin, Lagos, Ekiti. All this area, they were Benin before the British came. The British, they used a system for us, first of all, annexing Lagos. And from there, they put a watching eye on Benin to see what is happening in Benin, how they are going to conquer Benin, because that was their intention right from day one when they came to our empire. There was nothing like another intention. But when I see people today celebrating the British Empire, celebrating the Queen, some of our people join them to celebrate, I feel sad. I feel a little bit sad because of what these people did to our empire. How our people will be taken away in mass to somewhere like Cape Verde, to somewhere like Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Brazil. These are sons and daughters of the Benin Empire. And most of the people that were being taken to America and others, like South America, they were most of them Yorubas. But they were from Oyo. They were from Ife, as people are now claiming. The miseducation of the British people, telling these people this is where you're from, helping the Yoruba to rewrite history so that they use them as their marionette. This is how everything is being changed. Look, for example, Brazil today. The only place they can associate themselves with is Ife, because this is what they were told. Not that because they find out this themselves. And in some Caribbean countries, in Honduras, in so many other areas like that, in South America, you can still find some Benin's ethnic group, Ikwere, for example, who were told that they are Igbos. Because I watched this and I saw this, I just I just laughed. Said, "Oh, Ikweres are not Igbos. Ikweres are Benin. These are our brothers and our sisters." But those people, they were told they are Ikweres and they are Igbos, of which they are from the Benin Empire. And we shouldn't allow this thing to happen to us again, because it's going to happen if care is not taken, if we are not waking up gradually. That is why it's very, very important to join hands together, to work together. Join this organization, because any movement, anything, any revolution that start with good brain, start with economic abundance. Because there's nothing you can do without, you cannot feed your people. If you cannot feed your people, they will run away. The Igbos that is all over Nigeria today, they are not all over Nigeria because they are rich. They are in all over Nigeria because they are poor. They couldn't take care of themselves. That's why you see them in the north, you see them in the middle belt, you see them in the south, you see them in the west. But hardly you see other people, other tribes in the east. Very, very rare. And for example, if we have our own country, if the Benin Empire returned to its past glory, what would then happen to Lagos? What would then happen to Onitsha? We have to talk about all these things, because these are our people. We cannot just leave them or use them as sacrifice for other people. I will not support that in any form, because our people is our people, good or bad. The brotherhood must be there. Before the British came, Lagos was under the Benin Empire, and so shall it be. Onitsha was under the Benin Empire, so shall it be. We will not let any of our territory for anybody. We will not leave any of our people for anybody to become a slave for them. We must wake up. I'm still saying this. The Beninese are sleeping, because when you go on social media today, the people you see are the Beninese, but hardly you see them talk about progress, especially the Edos. Hardly you see them talk about progress. We have to be talking about progress. We should stop insulting ourselves in the social media. This is how Mama Lady Folk, Papa Obidon. Who is interested in those nonsense? That doesn't bring any progress to the Benin Empire. Before I was thinking the Edos, they are afraid to say anything. But when I saw the way they were insulting each other, insulting their elders, insulting their parents, and I understand they are not afraid. It's just something that is wrong with them. They didn't know where they came from. They didn't know the value of being an Edo person. If they know the value and have the training, they will not go out there to be doing this, even though it's for money. The Edos, the Benis, they are the most well-respected ethnic groups in the whole of West Africa. We are the second largest. Ask, calculate. Because when I'm saying this, people will say, where is your statistics? You need to look at all of them together. Look at the whole page and the history of the Benis and the Edos. You will know we are the majority. For example, the Biafra, they are minority. The Yoruba nation, they are minority. The only people that can compete with us there is the Hausa and Fulani combined together, of which we have not to combine them together because they are not of the same ethnic origin. They are different. We are not combining them together because of their religion, something, being a Muslim. But they are not the same. We, the Benis, we have the potential. The Edos, we have the potential to build, to show good example, to develop our nation, to attract investment. But when I look at the way our people, for example, I'm not a supporter of Godwin Obaseki. I'm still saying that. But the way people are spitting evil against this person, then you will understand what I'm talking about. That is not the right way. That is not the right form. We have seen other governors in that state who only did not even the half he has done now. He doesn't speak evil against these people. He doesn't speak anything uh, uh, harm to these people. But I can't understand why we are doing this to a sitting governor. I think the team of Governor Obaseki should come up with a strategy to start coming up to tell the people this is what we have been doing, this is what we lack, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And we, the citizen, we also have some responsibility. I said this before. Do we want peace in that state? How can that state develop? Of what I can recollect, I heard since yesterday, Obaseki is in Germany. Now, this would have been opportunity for the Edo people or the Benin from Edo State living in Germany. It would have been a great opportunity for you to meet Governor Obaseki, to ask him the question you have been saying you want to ask him. Go and speak the same fire you have been speaking on the social media with him, not hiding under the carpet and start spitting fire. We do have now the opportunity. So go there. He's there now. Go and do what you feel you can do. You know? Ask him the question you want to ask him. I think the team of Governor Obasanjo have to do a sort of, I don't know how to call it, some sort of information background. They need to go out there to the Edo people, inform the Edo people very well. This is what we have been doing. This is what we tend to do. How do we achieve it? Let the Benin people make some decision themselves, and let's see what will happen. Because all the time making decisions for people is not also the right terms or the right way. We as a nation should also be allowing our people to take decisions. Although we are being voted into those positions, but that doesn't mean that we should be making every decision for these people. It doesn't give us even the right to be doing that. So that's why it's very, very important. So I'm not pleading with the Edo youth, for example, pleading with you people, please wake up. Throw the supremacy attitude aside. Throw your proud aside. Embrace other brothers from other ethnic Edo groups because this is very, very important for unity. We are also going to be doing our part to be bringing our people together, no matter where they are in the world today, because this is very, very important. If you see a Jama person in America today, you will know it's a Jama because of the name he had or his bearing. If you see an Englishman, you will understand he's an Englishman in America. Or if you see somebody from the Netherlands in America, then you will know through his name he originated from that area. This is how our own supposed to be, but we are not doing the same thing. We should be giving our children our name. My children born here, they have Edo names. They have Edo name, they have English name. It doesn't have a German name. They were born here, they are German citizens, they are Austrian citizens, but they have Edo name and English name. But most of the time, you hear them saying their name, you hear them say their Edo name. People will not understand this because they will say, oh, we are here, we have to meet. How? You are whom you are, they are whom they are. They tolerate you doesn't mean they accepted you fully into their organization because in their law is or in their constitution is being defined who is an Austria. An Austria person is a person with a white skin, not a dark skin. Likewise, like the German, giving you a citizenship doesn't really mean that uh, you are now fully part of them. So, I just have a WhatsApp message. Let me just quickly go through it and I will come back because it looks something very, very important. Sorry. Okay. Yes, okay, it's about the election. So it's not other important as far as not in the Benin Empire. Yes, we should be praying for peace during this election in our state. We should start educating our people, allow them to know that money cannot buy everything, but with love, with unity, with brotherness, with brotherhood, we can achieve a lot. And this organization stands for it. We are going to be doing a lot of advertisement against violence in election and others. We are going to be coming up with a lot of series of togetherness, uh, the Benin's, how they come together, how everything started, why we are whom we are today. We are whom we are. You cannot change us. You can do anything about our history, but we'll be coming after these people very soon. Start replying them one after the other. Those people talk, they are very, very intelligent and saying one thing or the other against the Benin, this and that. Then we are coming. Just wait, because the tolerance is getting close and close. And once it's over, then we will start replying. We are going to be replying. But we are not interested in saga, because that's not what we stand for. We stand for unity with love, brotherhood, and others. So I want to thank everybody that was with me in this podcast. I appreciate you all. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our page, our Facebook page. We have also have a group page. We are also represented in Instagram, in YouTube, in Twitter, and so many other social media. And many more will be coming to it, because we want to spread as much as more information we can to the Beninese people. Please come, join hand with us, work with us, join this organization. We will welcome you. Though we have some criteria, but as far as you are a Benin citizen or you are married to a Benin person, you are also welcome in this organization. Whether you are a man who is married to a Benin woman, we will welcome you, or you are a woman who is married to a Benin person, whether you are white or you are black, we will accept you as far as is of the progress of the Benin Empire. We will do everything we can to support our people, to educate our people. Your opinion also counts, and we are ready for you. So come and join us. Our number is there, pasted out. It's not just only for WhatsApp uh, call, it's also for a way to join this organization. Send us a message and we will welcome you. So thank you for joining me in this program. And I say, till we come across our way again, stay healthy and peace, love for you. Bye bye.